cherry and almond gluten-free cake.
Indeed, gluten-free. So different, this one. And really nice, very, very seasonal cherries. Kentish cherries, support our Kentish cherry farmers because it's that perfect time of year. And I know you love them. You've been munching on them all morning.
I really have. Can I have this bowl full?
You can take it with you afterwards. Let's get the cake on first, I think. OK, right. Now, to start off with, it's got like a genoise sponge, which is a classic...
Are you what?
A genoise. Don't worry, I'll explain.
Okay.
Right, basically, eggs and sugar whipped up, OK? And we have to do it with an electric hand whisk, or it'll take ages if you're doing it yourself, or a machine like this, which helps, yeah?
OK.
So it's gone pale and fluffy, OK? And it's doubled in volume. And this is like a raisin agent. It's air that we want in there to hold it. You look really worried, but honestly...
No, I don't.
Right,
it's only because I don't bake, as you know. I've told you before.
So it's just eggs and sugar whipped up. That's it, OK? Right, now I'm just going to put this down ever so slightly. I don't want it to splash everywhere. In this pan here, we've got some melted butter. It's cooled, though. It's not too hot, otherwise it will cook my eggs even more, OK? Right, so the butter, I'm just going to get this in here now. In that goes now, OK? Now, also, for a bit of added richness to this one as well, we're going to add some olive oil to it as well, OK? So in goes the olive oil and a good glove.
See, I'm not scared so far.
Oh, right, well, good.
As a non-baker, I'm not scared.
It's not too difficult,
no.
is it? Right, so we just get that incorporated in, turn it off, lift up that lid, and as you can see, it's light and fluffy. This is exactly what we want. OK. Now, this comes a bit where we're not going to add any flour because it's almonds, yeah, ground almonds that we're using.
I do use them a lot, actually, ground almonds.
In your baking and cooking, yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a good substitute, but this stuff as well, fine polenta, which is cornmeal. In that goes...
I don't really use polenta a lot, but I suppose I could use it more, because I have to find alternatives all the time.
Well, this is the perfect thing. This is what gives you the body, and this is what's holding it, and it's a great flour substitute.
Now, it's also interesting that with almond flour, people always worry about it because they think everything's going to taste almondy, but I use it to coat fish sometimes and put in the oven.
Chicken dishes as well, stuff like that, exactly that. It's a, you know, breadcrumb substitute, basically. It's a different crust. But it has got a nice nuttiness to it, which is why I want it with the cherries. OK, so we've got the polenta in there, the almonds in there. I've also got this, touch of baking powder, going to be my other raisin agent as well.
OK.
In that goes there as well. OK, and look, I'm not really folding it. I'm literally just mixing it quite quickly, really.
So I think even I could do this, maybe.
Lemon zest. I got myself a little grater. Could use a box grater, but a little bit of lemon zest. This just obviously adds a citrus note to it all. And only just take the zest. Don't go too far down. You don't want the white pith, because then it can turn a little bit bitter. But for this amount, literally a small lemon only. Exactly what I'm doing here.
That's another thing I'm always a little bit wary of, because I never know how much to put in.
It's just a taste. Just think, for a cake, think about a tablespoon.
OK.
Think it that way. OK, now this is optional. It's alcohol that we've got. This is spiced rum. It depends. You need to check your alcohols and read it, because some of them, as you're going to know, this definitely, they contain...
Yeah,
you
have to check. You have to check.
Yeah, definitely. So spiced rum, in this instance, the brand we're using is great today. It's fine. OK, so in that goes now. But like a lot of the whiskies, for example, they won't be great for celiacs. Yeah, vodka. Yeah. So another little fact there. OK, but we just keep everything mixing together. And it's like a batter. It's more like a batter than a cake mix, because it's not as heavy, basically, because there's no flour. OK, we've got ourselves a greased spring form cake tin, non-stick, OK? A little bit of butter there in it and some paper, just in case. You don't want it to stick, obviously, but it just helps you. So in that goes there, and just use a spatula, scrape everything out. Preheat your oven to 160 degrees Celsius, and if you've got the fan, definitely put the fan on. It's going to help when it bakes it. In that goes there. Now, a few cherries are going to go on top, and we're just going to grab these lovely plump cherries, and it is a case of literally just decorating and scattering the top. They will sink ever so slightly, but I'm going to use cherries again in this recipe. You'll see why.
It's going to take a lot of time to do all those cherries, isn't it?
It will, but I'm going to get to that in a moment.
Oh, sorry.
A few flaked almonds go all over the top. OK, and as I said, into your preheated oven, 160 degrees, 40 minutes. A good way of checking it, you could use a cocktail stick or a small knife, and if it comes out clean, you know you're looking good. You know it's just cooked.
OK, thank you for that.
Right, so, as I said, you know, I grew up in Kent. I love cherries. They sell them by the roadside still now, to this very day.
Good.
And a great way of pitting cherries, because, A, you've eaten half of mine, and I need to...
Oh, I really have, I'm sorry.
But basically, look at this little cherry pitter.
What's that?
Cherry stoner. So you just whack your cherry on.
I've never seen that.
Push down. Out it comes.
Oh, can I just see if it tastes the same without?
Yeah, and you go for it. Why not? You've eaten the rest, so...
Oh, yes, it's good.
Still tastes good, does it? Still tastes like cherries. OK, now over here, I've got this plain pan on the hob. Put it on a very low heat, very low. And what we're going to do is add the cherries to the pan. In they go there. A splash, literally 2 tablespoons of water. And I don't need all of this, but just a touch of sugar. And what we do is we leave that just to dissolve, just to do its thing, basically it's stewed cherries. I could say to you, yes, I'm doing a cherry compote.
Oh,
sound all chefy.
Is that what a compote is?
Basically, yeah. But if you look at this pan here, if we can get this one, now you see you get this wonderful syrup, and that's what you want. We're going to use that to moisten around the cake, and obviously it's going to give you a wonderful cherry kick. So anyway, this one needs to cook down some more. I'm going to do a glaze, which I'll explain a little bit later on, and it's baking. So it's all coming together good. Come back towards at the end of the show. I'm going to put everything together, and it's gluten-free heaven.